Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we are accompanied by Jade, my sister, and most of you will know her by the wellness program. Now Jade specializes in natural healing, and today we're going to pick her brains in regards to gut health and how that links to mental health and has control over sometimes our emotions. So Jay, would you like to introduce yourself and what it is that you do?
So I run a program called the Wellness Program, and we focus on what I believe to be the three key areas of ill health, which are the gut, toxins, and harmful organisms, pathogens, and undiagnosed infections in the body. So by focusing on these three key areas, we can reduce the burden on the body, we heal the gut, which then increases the immune system and puts the body in a position where it can begin to heal itself. So the body has an innate healing ability. We have our immune system, which keeps us healthy. It's only when it's overburdened by these organisms and by high toxicity and through a leaky gut that we can then get disease. So we then try to reverse this, put it into a position where this innate healing ability can do its work.
Okay, awesome. So with all of that taken into consideration, through your level of expertise, do you think that there is a connection through gut health and the brain? So the gut and the brain?
Yes, I do. So there is something called the gut-brain axis. Scientifically, this is only really a recent discovery. In the last 3 years, we've started to get the scientific literature that supports this. And this axis is connected by the largest nerve in the body, which is called the vagus nerve. And this communication, the signals that it sends, are dictated by the good bacteria in our gut and the microbiome. Okay. So it's really important that we have sufficient levels of good bacteria and a well-balanced microbiome, because that's going to dictate the type of signals that are going to go between the gut and the brain, and also the brain and the gut. It works both ways. So the good bacteria in our gut produces something called GABA, and GABA is a neurotransmitter which calms the brain. So for example, things like anxiety and mood disorders are caused by overexcitement in the brain. So we then need GABA to calm this down. So part of the process of the overexcitement is caused by too much glutamate in the body. So the body then does two things with glutamate. It can convert glutamate to glutamine, and glutamate to GABA to calm the brain. So in order to do glutamate to glutamine, we need manganese in the body. So a deficiency in manganese can mean we have too much glutamate because it can't make that conversion, or glutamate to GABA, which we need vitamin B6 and magnesium to make that conversion. So again, we need to look at these deficiencies because we may not be able to make that conversion.
Okay, so something that I really wanted to ask you, as you know, we're bringing more awareness to mental health, giving people the confidence to speak out. Like, that's my passion right now. I want more people to feel comfortable in freely speaking about their struggles. Now, the avenue that they choose to get help is, I think, personal preference, but I think something that is underestimated is natural healing. I mean, the doctors are obviously the first port of call, which I have nothing against. That's absolutely fine, whatever works for anybody. However, I think natural healing is an avenue that people aren't even aware of. So how do you think personally, by healing the body, we can heal mentally as well and avoid things or overcome things like depression, anxiety, and so on?
I think it's really important to remember that any symptom or issue we get in the body, it's a message. Yeah. It's your body trying to tell you that something's wrong.
Yeah, I love that.
And that's our key to then start exploring that and finding out what the body needs. So yeah, you can go to the doctor. The sad thing that happens when my clients come to me and they've been to a doctor is a lot of the time they're not believed, especially if it is to do with the brain, because of a lack of science and a lack of studies in that area. They don't really know where to start approaching it from.
Yeah, I feel...
And it's a management approach.
Yeah, doctors are highly qualified. They do loads of studying, but they're not specified in any specific area.
Yeah.
Loads of general knowledge, amazing. but they don't specialize in anything. So it's very difficult for them to give you in-depth answers and personalized responses.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think there can be an element of, they'll say, just try and look more positively at life, or, very simple things, and they're missing the physiological aspect of the fact that something physical in the gut is dictating what's happening in the brain, rather than it's not always a mindset or an outlook thing.
Yes, which can make people feel what they're feeling is wrong, or what they're feeling is all in their head, which can make the problem 10 times worse, because again, it comes down to no but understanding. And when you feel like you're alone and no one understands you, it's the worst situation to be in.
Yeah, you're not heard. You're not heard, and you just feel alone, and that you can't really be helped. So then it becomes a management issue, where you're then given drugs to manage what's happening. But interestingly as well, serotonin is produced in the gut. The serotonin is in the gut. So again, you can see how, if you want to feel better and increase your serotonin, that's going to come down to, again, looking at the gut. A little bit of a sidetrack, but really importantly, actually, just to point out, so your autistic children, this is obviously more to do with the brain, but one study has shown that up to 90% of autistic children have gut issues and symptoms to do with the gut.
Oh, wow.
So there is a massive connection between autistic children and gut issues. And so much so, there is a world famous diet called the GAPS diet, which stands for Gut and Psychology Syndrome. And children under the age of 4 have been healed from autism by following this diet, which is a gut healing protocol.
Wow, that's so
So
interesting.
this is the impact that the gut can have on the brain. And this is the importance of looking at treating root causes. Because one, you're going to actually heal and prevent these symptoms long term, but also you're going to prevent secondary issues. So every single piece of medication that you take has side effects. Every single one. They come with a little pamphlet and there's a long list. So the longer you take that medication, the higher risk you have of getting one of these side effects and more problems. And also you're damaging your gut further, so you're actually becoming iller, because all medication is toxic to the body, and toxins are going to damage our microbiome. And we have 70 to 80% of our immune system lies in the gut. So again, a direct correlation between our gut health and the health of our body and immune system. So we really need to be looking at ways to improve our gut health, and not looking at the root of medication, which actually then is going to damage our gut health and create more sickness.
And we become reliant as well. You're not healing your body mentally and physically all the time. You're reliant on a medication to get through the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it becomes a bit of a cycle. And then when you get the next side effect, you then need medication for that side effect, which has side effects. And it just becomes a spiral. And the more you're on that path, the harder it's going to be then to come back and restore balance in the body. You can't balance the body if you're putting toxins in on a daily basis.
Yes,
you need to clean the body.
This actually leads me on to my next one, something that I'm guilty of. What is your opinion on caffeine and the link to anxiety?
Yeah, I personally don't think coffee is very healthy, mainly because one, it's very acidic to the body, and disease can only be born in an acidic environment. It also has high levels of mold, and mold has been linked to multiple illnesses.
Yeah. So that I'll use coffee as a stimulant. I know it improves my day in terms of work hours, because my mind is always thinking, I feel more creative, I feel more energized. But then it does become a vicious cycle. It gets to the evening and it's like, okay, now I want to wind down, now I can't.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very common, very common.
So I think, in my personal opinion, with coffee and with like pre-workouts, anything that's, energy drinks, high in caffeine, there is a purpose for them, but you have to be aware of the side effects and they're not to be abused. And if you are suffering from anxiety, caffeine is one of the main things that I would turn to in order to bring down and reduce, in order to help your mind just feel more relaxed. Okay, so finally, I think to round this off nicely, what steps can someone take today in order to improve their gut health, which in turn will help their mental health?
So the first thing, and most importantly, is to supplement with a probiotic, or to have probiotic foods. So that's going to put in good bacteria and feed the good bacteria in our gut. The second thing you can do is make sure you don't have the vitamin and mineral deficiencies that I touched on earlier, so B6, manganese and magnesium. So make sure those processes are taking place. Consider a gluten sensitivity and remove that from the diet for 30 days and see how you respond. Caffeine, consider reducing or removing caffeine from the diet and see how that helps. And also looking at an adaptogenic herb such as ashwagandha, that helps that helps the body respond to stress. And as most of us know, like, stress is going to have an impact on most things to do with ill health in the body. So managing stress is a really important way to not only manage our gut but also our brain health.
Awesome. I think that's really, really helpful. Well, thank you so much, Jade.
No problem.
It's been a pleasure, and I hope you guys got a lot of value from that. I know I certainly did by listening. So please like, subscribe, and share this info, share my videos in order to help others and bring more awareness to mental health.